The stars stretched endlessly across the void, indifferent to the lives that flickered beneath their distant light. Humanity had carved its fragile existence across one small world, unaware that eyes far older than the sun had already taken notice. Across the black expanse, alien vessels moved with meticulous precision, scanning, analyzing, calculating. They had encountered countless civilizations, each predictable, each contained. But the human warship that emerged from hyperspace did not fit their calculations. The horizon glided forward, its hull glinting faintly under starlight, small yet defiant. Sensors hummed with readings that confused even the most sophisticated alien algorithms. Energy signatures pulsed irregularly, ship formations shifted with uncanny subtlety, and the humans aboard moved with a calm audacity that could not be predicted. The aliens had scanned countless fleets, but never one like this, never a species that seemed to anticipate the unknown before it arrived. Inside the bridge, consoles flickered as the crew traced patterns in the approaching armada. EXO-1, the prototype at the heart of the ship, pulsed with radiant energy, interfacing with every system, translating human instinct into tactical advantage. Its soft hum intertwined with the ship's systems, turning raw intuition into subtle manipulations that warped targeting protocols and twisted enemy calculations. The aliens had come expecting to dominate, to impress, to study, but they found only audacity, unpredictability, and intelligence that dwarfed their assumptions. The first vessels appeared on the scanners, enormous and precise, bristling with weapons and sensors that could annihilate whole worlds. Yet the horizon moved without panic, every adjustment to shields, every nudge of thrusters, every subtle command executed with seamless coordination. Drones deployed into the void, projecting illusions of additional ships, scattering enemy targeting arrays, bending expectation into confusion. The aliens scanned again, but their systems could not comprehend what they saw. Humanity was neither weak nor predictable, they were a paradox. The captain observed quietly, taking in the immensity of the fleet, the precision of the alien formations, and the subtle advantages hidden in every anomaly, every unexpected response. Humanity had not been called to battle, they had been scanned, misjudged, underappreciated. And in that miscalculation lay the seeds of defiance. The crew moved as one, a living organism of thought and instinct, ready to turn perception into strategy, audacity into survival. As the horizon edged closer to the scanning fleet, the stars reflected off its hull like distant witnesses to a truth the galaxy would soon learn. Humans were not to be underestimated, and the terror that flickered in the sensors of the armada was only the beginning. The alien armada moved with perfect synchronicity, engines humming, weapons arrays aligned, and sensor nets sweeping the void with relentless precision. Every vessel was a monument to discipline, a civilization that had thrived on predictability for eons. Yet the horizon moved within their formation like a living thought, small, deliberate, and impossible to anticipate. Every microthruster adjustment, every shield modulation, every holographic projection of the ship was calculated instinctively, bending their expectations and fracturing the certainty of the fleet. EXO-1 pulsed softly at the ship's core, a luminous extension of human intent. Its tendrils interfaced with every system. Every drone, every sensor, amplifying decisions and projecting subtle distortions across enemy targeting arrays. The alien scanners misread what they saw, shields flickering where none should, energy flows bending impossibly, movements that defied patterns. Every miscalculation, every pause, every hesitation in the fleet widened the margin of human advantage. The first volleys of energy sliced through the darkness, blazing toward the horizon with lethal precision. Shields flared, deflecting and dispersing the beams, while drones intercepted missiles mid-flight, detonating them harmlessly in intricate mid-space collisions. Phantom ships shimmered across the void, mirroring the horizon's movements, forcing the armada's calculations to loop endlessly. The aliens had scanned the humans expecting compliance, yet every response only deepened their uncertainty. The captain observed quietly, reading the subtle fluctuations across the displays, anticipating the ripple effects of every action. The crew responded intuitively, moving as one with the ship, converting chaos into order, hesitation into opportunity. Humanity had been mistaken for weakness, yet in that error, they found leverage. The armada, vast and powerful, began to stagger under the weight of unpredictability. Outside, the stars glimmered over drifting debris, energy arcs from misfired weapons, and the vast scale of the battlefield. The horizon, small yet unbowed, continued forward, demonstrating a principle no alien civilization had ever accounted for: intelligence, creativity, and audacity could outmatch raw power, and humans were living proof. The horizon weaved deeper into the alien formation, a singular point of audacity amidst a sea of calculated perfection. Every sensor on the alien vessel strained to anticipate the human warship, yet every reading returned anomalies, shields flaring unpredictably, energy outputs fluctuating, and micro-movements too precise and too subtle to be predicted. Humans did not move like machines, they adapted, improvised, and exploited gaps in logic that no algorithm could account for. EXO-1 thrummed at the ship's core, its radiant tendrils interfacing with every system, every drone, every sensor. Holographic projections shimmered in the void, creating phantom fleets, false energy signatures, and phantom weapon arrays that forced the armada to misfire, hesitate, and recalibrate endlessly. Missiles collided mid-flight, energy beams faltered, and targeting systems spun in confusion. The humans had turned the aliens' precision into a liability, and the battlefield itself became a testament to ingenuity over overwhelming force. Dreadnoughts pivoted and fired, massive lances of energy carving through the darkness, but the horizon slipped between them with uncanny grace. Shields absorbed, redirected, and scattered the attacks, while drones projected illusions that misled the enemy at every angle. Every human decision amplified confusion, turning the armada's might into hesitation, their certainty into doubt. Humanity had not merely survived, they had transformed a misunderstanding into a strategic advantage. The captain observed quietly, noting patterns, anticipating corrections, and guiding EXO-1's subtle manipulations. The crew moved instinctively, as if reading his mind, acting in perfect harmony with the ship's energy and the battlefield around them. Every hesitation in the enemy fleet was an opportunity, every miscalculation a window to assert control. Humanity was proving that intellect, adaptability, and audacity could bend even the most disciplined force to their will. Outside the viewport, the stars glimmered like distant witnesses, reflecting off drifting debris and residual energy arcs. The horizon, small yet commanding, pressed forward, a symbol of unyielding spirit and intelligence. The galaxy, in that moment, began to understand a terrifying truth: humans were unpredictable, relentless, and capable of turning the impossible into triumph. The horizon moved steadily through the void, a solitary silhouette against the vast alien armada, its hull catching the faint glow of distant stars like a beacon of defiance. Each dreadnought in the enemy fleet had been built to dominate. A monument to precision and centuries of perfected warfare. Yet their perfection faltered in the presence of humans, creatures who did not calculate in lines and probabilities but in instinct, audacity, and imagination. The horizon was small, fragile even in appearance, but every micro-movement, every subtle adjustment, every calculated misdirection turned expectation into vulnerability. Inside the bridge, the crew moved with quiet, meticulous focus. Engineers rerouted energy through fractured conduits, reinforcing shields and repairing minor breaches with hands that moved as if guided by intuition itself. Pilots threaded the ship through a labyrinth of floating debris and misfired ordnance. Each movement calculated to avoid destruction while maintaining the perfect angle for observation and subtle interference. Analysts traced patterns in the alien formations, predicting corrections, anticipating hesitation, and feeding this information to the ship's systems and EXO-1, which amplified every decision with calm precision. EXO-1 hummed at the ship's core, its radiant tendrils interfacing seamlessly with consoles, drones, and sensors. Holographic projections shimmered into existence around the horizon, phantom ships, phantom energy signatures, even phantom weapons fire, forcing the alien fleet to misinterpret reality. Engines misfired, targeting systems froze, and weapons discharged into empty voids. The armada, immense and seemingly infallible, faltered under the weight of human unpredictability. Each hesitation became an opportunity, each misfire a window through which humans asserted control. Outside the viewport, the battlefield seemed alive, energy arcs stretching like ribbons across space, drifting wreckage floating silently, and sensors flickering with chaotic feedback. The horizon slipped between it all, small but commanding, a conductor of chaos, bending the battlefield to human will. The aliens had scanned humanity expecting allies, expecting weakness, and yet in that assumption they had handed the humans the ultimate advantage, the captain observed quietly, not with panic. Not with urgency, but with a calm awareness that every subtle action mattered. The crew moved as extensions of thought, instinct, and courage, executing maneuvers with perfect synchronicity. Humanity had not merely survived an overwhelming force, they had taken mastery over it, turning precision into vulnerability, predictability into opportunity, and fear into awe. The stars beyond the horizon glimmered silently, indifferent yet watchful, witnesses to the audacity of a species that refused to bow. Humanity had demonstrated that courage, intellect, and ingenuity could challenge even the oldest, most disciplined fleets. And as the human warship moved deeper into the void, the galaxy began to understand a truth no scanner could quantify: humans were uncontainable. Unpredictable, and unyielding, the horizon pressed onward, small yet unyielding, a defiant streak of humanity cutting through the immense, calculating silence of the alien armada. Enormous dreadnoughts drifted like mountains of steel and energy, their weapons arrays bristling, engines pulsing in perfect harmony. They were designed for domination, for crushing anything beneath their will, yet they faltered in the face of a species that thought differently, creatures who turned hesitation into strategy and miscalculation into advantage. Inside, the crew moved with quiet precision, a living symphony of human ingenuity. Engineers traced fractured conduits, rerouted energy through shields, and repaired critical systems with hands guided by instinct and intellect. Pilots nudged the horizon through fields of debris and drifting ordnance, microthrusters adjusting in minute increments, each movement designed to maintain balance, preserve tactical advantage, and confuse enemy sensors. Analysts traced patterns in the alien fleet's formations, predicting corrections, anticipating hesitation, and feeding these insights to EXO-1. Every calculation, every subtle projection, every decision magnified the humans' advantage in a battlefield that had been meant to overwhelm them. EXO-1, glowing at the ship's heart, extended luminous tendrils into every system, every sensor, every drone. Holographic projections shimmered in the void, phantom fleets, phantom weapon arrays, and false energy signatures, forcing the aliens to misfire, hesitate, and recalibrate endlessly. Missiles collided in mid-space, energy beams fractured into harmless arcs, and dreadnoughts flinched against attacks that never came. The humans were not fighting with sheer power, they were orchestrating control over perception, exploiting expectation as deftly as any cannon or torpedo. Outside the viewport, the stars gleamed over drifting wreckage, residual energy arcs, and fractured fleets frozen mid-course. The horizon glided through this tapestry of chaos, small but commanding, each movement an assertion of audacity and intellect. The armada's precision had crumbled, replaced by uncertainty, hesitation, and vulnerability. Every misalignment of weapon systems, every stutter in propulsion, every flicker in sensors amplified human advantage, proving that adaptability, creativity, and courage were more dangerous than overwhelming firepower. The captain observed with calm focus, reading the subtle ripples of error and opportunity, guiding the crew with minimal input, yet perfect synchronicity. The humans moved as extensions of thought and instinct, transforming the battlefield into a landscape they could manipulate, a stage upon which their audacity could shine. They had turned misunderstanding into leverage, assumption into vulnerability, and miscalculation into survival. The stars beyond shimmered like distant witnesses, indifferent yet aware, observing a species that refused to bow. Humanity had not merely survived the armada, they had mastered it, proving that courage, intelligence, and unyielding spirit could bend even the most disciplined, overwhelming force to human will. In every energy arc, every fragment of drifting debris, every faltering dreadnought, the galaxy glimpsed a terrifying truth: humans were unpredictable, unstoppable, and uncontainable. the horizon sailed deeper into the void, a lone human warship dwarfed by the vast alien armada, yet imbued with a presence that made the fleet hesitate. The dreadnoughts, frigates, and cruisers that had once moved with flawless synchronicity now staggered in uncertainty. Sensors that had scanned and catalogued countless species failed to interpret what they saw, shields flickering in impossible patterns, thrusters adjusting in ways that defied logic, and holographic projections that multiplied the horizon into countless phantoms across the blackness. Humanity had become a paradox no algorithm could solve. Inside, the crew operated with fluid precision, each member anticipating the next move as if guided by a single consciousness. Engineers rerouted energy through damaged conduits, reinforcing shields, and redirecting power to critical systems. Pilots maneuvered the ship through a labyrinth of drifting debris and misfired ordnance. Each micro-adjustment maintaining optimal positioning while provoking further miscalculations from the alien fleet. Analysts traced the failing formations, predicting hesitation, exploiting misalignment, and feeding these insights into EXO-1, the luminous prototype at the ship's heart. EXO-1 pulsed with radiant energy, its tendrils interfacing seamlessly with every system, every drone, every sensor. Holographic fleets shimmered into existence, creating phantom vessels, false weapon signatures, and deceptive energy flows that forced the aliens to misfire and overcompensate. Missiles collided mid-space, energy beams fractured into harmless arcs, and even the most formidable dreadnoughts staggered under pressure they could not understand. Every misstep, every hesitation, every failed calculation became a strategic advantage for humanity. Outside, the battlefield was a chaotic tapestry of drifting wreckage, residual energy arcs, and frozen ships suspended like statues in space. The horizon moved through it all with calm purpose, small yet commanding, turning the armada's overwhelming might into a theater of uncertainty. The humans had converted expectation into vulnerability, precision into weakness, and intimidation into hesitation. Intelligence, adaptability, and audacity had proven more powerful than sheer force, the captain observed quietly, noting the subtle patterns and ripples of error throughout the alien fleet. The crew mirrored his focus, moving with instinctive harmony and unspoken understanding. The horizon became a fulcrum, manipulating the battlefield not through brute strength but through intellect, foresight, and relentless courage. Humanity had rewritten the rules of engagement, demonstrating that audacity and ingenuity could bend even the most disciplined, most powerful fleets to human will. The armada, once imposing and precise, now drifted in fractured formations, engines sputtering, weapon arrays misaligned, communication networks overwhelmed. The horizon, a single human warship, had turned their confidence into confusion, their certainty into doubt. The galaxy had witnessed something unprecedented. Humans who did not simply survive, they imposed their will upon the cosmos with intelligence, creativity, and fearless defiance. Stars beyond glimmered like silent witnesses, indifferent yet attentive, marking the audacity of a species that refused to bow. Humanity had proven that the impossible could be reshaped, that courage and intellect could rival power, and that no empire, no matter how vast, could predict the limits of human resolve. And as the horizon disappeared into the depths of space, leaving the shattered armada behind, one truth echoed across the cosmos.